To the primordial roots of every approach, from object and subject, pertains the desire to secure their own existence, in the now, through economic security, as well as in the future, through successful reproduction. And therefore, to be at one with the world and to ensure one's own existence within it. This also determines a correlation between mankind and system, and each correlation has its forms of communication, which in turn can be used in an attempt to change its counterpart. The specifics of symbols are in a certain way comparable, if using a gastronomical metaphor, which in this case is obvious, with the capacity of the general public to immediately and intuitively feel, understand, share, and identify the taste and the specifics of a particular culinary culture. We all know and recognize the difference between Chinese and French cuisine, or North American and Arabic. But, in order to identify the taste of a specific culinary culture, we have first to try it, interact, experience, and confront. The taste, and the capacity to identify it, is not determined to us from birth. Taste is the result of a complex process of interaction, of an objective and subjective reality. If we stay on the level of the gastronomic metaphor and compare the lexical complexity of a dictionary, the syntactical geniality of a sentence, the variety of spoken languages to the richness of ingredients and their nifty compositions, and variety of meals that the global culinary culture can offer, then you could argue that the most diverse and differentiated, the more original and characteristical this culture is, as is the quality of life within it. The more the symbol, in the obverse sense, relates to the usual, the prevalent, the bland, the self-evident, and the already well-known, the more it gets a banal value and becomes a symptom of a low or totally undeveloped level of cultural existence. In a totalized society of post-Fordian capitalism, the assimilation and homologous features of actions, needs, desires, and different languages become a necessity because they are indispensable for the realization of profit. Capitalism acts according to its nature in relation to the differences in a decodifying way, to then recodify an artificial, symbolic language which should be universal to everyone. Capitalism creates the illusion of difference, of freedom. In reality, it pursues the goal of levelling and reduces everything to the level of mere articles of exchange, thus to banalise every expression of difference and subjectivity. A classic example of the banalisation of the symbol can be found in the flattening of the behaviour and culinary taste of millions of individuals, who on a global scale see more and more in McDonald's a symbol that will satisfy their desires, with hamburgers and Coca-Cola. We experience a continual bombardment through capital with the partially realised intention to flatten life, the ability to feel, and the production of tastes, desires, and feelings in general. What the standardised product range of Fordism could no longer offer people due to an increasing sense of individuality, post-Fordism, since the 90s, now tries to offer people who have become increasingly more globalised and therefore binds them to it with individualised terms of production. However, through flexibility in all areas, the modern human has become increasingly more trapped in the actual system. And if that is not enough, in their misery, through privatisation and the consequent individualisation of the welfare state, are decoupled from the state and from the solidarity of their fellow citizens. This flood in information and rampant hypercommunication has helped to smother the essential desire to exist in every creature. In any case, it seems to be a process that needs to be fulfilled again and again, and at present seems unable to find an end. Ciervo's work makes this difficult equilibrium of power between the system and the individual visible, and at the same time shows that ultimately, in this transformation game, nobody from either side can gain the upper hand, and also shows that both sides change in reference to each other. Fortunately, the artist gives no conclusive answers here. However, he does raise the right questions and positions them in the right places, in the head, the heart, and even a little bit in the intestinal tract.